Hello everyone, this is Twist Gaming. We're live at GenCon, and I'm with the one, the only Adam Poots at Kingdom Death. Thank you, Adam, for joining us.
My absolute pleasure. You guys are awesome.
Yeah, thank you. How's the con be going so far? That's the first question.
The con?
Yeah.
It's going okay. You know, like, this time we have so many people from the team that I don't normally see, and I know there's so many fans here that, of course, I don't see, so
yeah.
Trying to stay in the booth as much as possible just so I can hang out with everybody.
Yeah, no, it's been really cool. So I know, sadly, 1.5 was delayed a little bit.
A little bit.
It's okay, though. You can wait a little bit.
On a personal level, I was very frustrated.
Yes.
I so wanted to surprise everyone and get it out before Gen Con so that I could bring it to Gen Con.
Yeah.
Like, look what I got, everybody. Yeah.
Look at the cool, awesome stuff. Sadly, I have to wait a couple more weeks.
No.
Sadly, it's not that long.
No.
Yeah, you're off a few weeks. That's
no.
for Kickstarter.
There's, at this point,
especially how big you were.
There's 2 containers on the water. That's not enough to fulfill even a continent. So it's coming.
It's coming. Awesome. So we got that going on. What do you like about the 1.5 changes? What's your favorite change that you made that thought was
there's some things in there that are mechanic-wise that I'm very happy about.
Yeah.
I think that the Watcher, while at the time when we designed it, I was like, oh, it's going to be this thing, you fight it with the whole settlement, going to be so cool, and it's awesome, but what typically the last box of a game is the one that tests everything you've known up until that point, not throw you a complete curveball that totally did.
Yeah.
So it was satisfying to go back in and make the Gold Smoke Knight as that monster. It's just like, here's everything you know, it's just going to hit you harder and faster than anything else in the game so far. And it felt good.
That's good.
And then I was deeply satisfying to go back through all of the hunt events.
Yeah.
Now that we know so much more about the world and all because we wrote that before we wrote all the expansions.
Yeah.
So the scope of everything's increased, and it was very satisfying to go back through it and to add more detail and to take things out that I thought were sort of like a little weak butthole. Yeah. And make it better.
That's awesome.
You slapping at me. It's I've been here since Tuesday. Forgive me. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's cool. So we got that. I know the reprints of the expansions are coming soon after, hopefully.
Yeah.
Okay.
My hope here is to have everything ready for a holiday fulfillment.
Yeah.
But because of how big everything got, as I said before, we're kind of having this rollback thing. The plastic production is done, which is awesome. I was on top of it with the plastic side of it this time. But the paper side of it, it's it's moving. It's not moved out the door yet, but it's going.
Let's give a second. All right. Thought they would be done.
No, not done yet.
Just keep going. All right. All right. So we got all that current content, new 1.5, and then we have the new expansions.
Yes.
Which one? I'm excited for all of them.
What do you want to know about?
Which ones are you most excited about?
It's hard. It really is.
Which ones are you designing?
I mean, I am the seal of approval on everything.
I know you're seal of approval on anything.
Which one am I monster programming is more the question.
Because I know you did the Sunstalker.
Yep. And I did the Dung Beetle Knight.
And you worked on Dung Beetle Knight with Barish.
Yeah. And I did 99% of the core game.
Yeah, and you did most of the core game, so I know that. So what expansions are you taking under your wing and saying, no, this is mine, no one else can work on this?
Red Witches is mine.
Red Witches is yours, okay.
No one's touching that one. And then the Oblivion Mosquito, totally mine.
Okay.
No one's touching that one. And then the Inverted Mountain, there's a couple things in that set where I was like, I'll probably pick up some of these and be like, no one else, F off. But Anna has been on creative fire.
Yeah, you told me a little bit earlier that she's been going crazy on that.
So many ideas, or I'm like, it's so cool. I'm starting to turn back up. I'm like, you know what? You can head this one up. It's sounding so cool. The whole thing.
One of the fun questions everyone asked me was what does the inverted mountain look like? Is it an upside down triangle mountain just on the ground? Is that the idea of the inverted mountain basically?
Yeah, it's not a pit.
It's not a pit.
It is a mountain.
It's a mountain
that is flipped upside down.
Okay.
Yeah. It's impossible. How did this happen? So that's why climbing it would be so terrible, and that's why we're going to have so much fun making you guys do it.
I'm really excited for the upside down minis and all that. That looks really cool.
We have
I kind of want to make the magnet board and hang the board upside down and move them around. They don't like that idea, but
no. Maybe you could do one of the streams and
just flip the camera.
Yeah. God. So we have this, or Anna, not even me, this is
Yeah.
Anna, this is her, has this concept where the whole campaign will be more insanity based.
Yeah.
So we'll limit the number of survival you get, which makes survival actions even more precious.
Yes.
And instead start to get it so the survivors can develop insanity actions.
Okay.
And in addition to that, we're talking about making it so some disorders are prerequisites for crafting.
Yeah.
And both for innovating too.
All right.
Which things start to get kind of like really interesting.
It sounds very fun.
Yeah. Well, it sounds terrible.
Yeah, it sounds terrible and fun. I mean, it's all the Kingdom Death world.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all the same thing. I've lost track of the question I was going to say.
It's okay. Take a moment.
Right.
You guys can edit this, I'm sure.
Edit something.
Been a long day.
Yeah, it's been a long day. I know you have a lot of expansions. I know you joked about the Ringtail Fox.
Yes. What was a joke? If we had crossed...
If you crossed it...
I would have committed.
You would have committed to it.
I'm very happy that we didn't, because now I get more time to like be more relaxed about it.
So that's
adding
still
it
a
to
future
the
something.
massive queue.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I know people are excited about that. At least you did do the miniature pinup of that was a little fan service. That was fun. What about all the other games you've talked about wanting to do? That ever going to come in the pipeline? Are you going to ever be able to expand into those, or you think Kingdom Death's just going to?
I don't know. Like Kingdom Death originally was supposed to be a smaller game. Like, did I ever get a chance to tell you about any of this?
No, I don't think so.
So I wanted to do the typical thing and make a hero game. Right? Yeah. But I wanted to have these really big, cool monsters you could fight as bosses.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, I guess if I make a game that just features the monsters, that would help me fund the monsters.
Yes.
Because it's so expensive to make them.
Yeah.
So I started to work on KD:M instead of just KD.
Yeah.
And then it kind of took on a life of its own. And now that I'm looking back at the body of our work and I'm looking forward as we start to pen and plan everything new, we have a really cool way of telling stories within this game system that's very new. And it makes me kind of like wonder, like, okay, well, if we did get to those other games, like, how can we tell stories in the same compelling way?
Yes.
And that's made me kind of like, not so much hesitate, but be more respectful of the work that could potentially go forward.
Yeah.
The only other project that is actively going now is a little 2D game.
Okay, so the little sprites you've been showing off a little bit, you got a little 2D game going on?
We added, I don't see them around right now, but the programmer is here wandering the floor, so is the guy who does a lot of the animations.
All right.
And then we added to the team a hand animator out in Hong Kong who animates the stuff that we then send to another sprite guy to then turn into sprites. So they're like extra silky smooth.
Awesome.
And that's like, thankfully, one of those things that I can just kind of keep juggling. I don't have to make any major decisions on it yet.
Hall is now closed. We ask you to make your way towards the exits in an orderly fashion, but we would like to invite you back tomorrow morning when the exhibit hall will open at 10 a.m.
Yay, bye, boys. I think he'll shut up now, hopefully.
For a little bit.
For a little bit.
Oh, this is live, right? You can't edit anything.
This is all recorded.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we have no internet here, sadly, so like I said, a little hard. I mean, to get internet was very expensive, and we don't have a dedicated spot.
Yeah.
So maybe next year.
I mean, even like everyone's. Anyway, let's continue.
No, it's a whole thing. So we got that going on. So you have the little sprite game.
Yeah.
Is that going to be a mobile game or a computer game?
No, it'll be a computer game.
Computer game, awesome.
Yeah.
And it's going to be KDM theme world and all that, and
it'll be either about the Twilight Knight or the White Speaker. So it'll give me
like a little side scroller kind of thing.
It'll give me a way to like sort of tell a new story.
Yeah.
It will not be a Metroidvania. Not gonna do it.
Yeah.
Not resist that temptation. It's gonna be more like old school Prince of Persia.
Okay.
Where your character is frail, heights kill you, and it's more about planning out your movement before you do it. And then the combats will be kind of like isolated and more cinematic.
Is it going to be old Nintendo hard? Is that the goal?
Oh yeah.
Old Nintendo hard. Okay.
You'll get real frustrated real fast.
So just like your Super Mario level that I failed at horribly on stream. And
ever play old Prince of Persia? Just miss jumps constantly.
No, that's actually not one of the games I've played. But no, that's really cool. But the other stuff's kind of on the side hold till I'm assuming all the expansion's been worked on.
After the first Kickstarter was fulfilled and everything, I got a good 3 or 4 months in on Labyrinth.
Okay.
But then I kind of like put it on the side because we had to deal with our stock shortage issue, which led to the new Kickstarter, which led to a whole giant pile of new promises. But it's exciting. I'm just so thrilled that everyone's been enjoying the stuff and that we can continue.
So, future, I know it's a couple years out, the next Kickstarter going to be more Kingdom Death Monster, or hopefully something different?
I think it might be something different.
Something
we'll
different?
See.
Okay.
We'll see. Like, I mean, with like 24 plus expansions, I think is enough content for now.
So.
Might be able to sneak in something else just for a little while.
Just for a little bit?
So, I mean, it'd still be Kingdom Death.
Still Kingdom Death, just something new.
Yeah.
Out of all the extra side projects, which ones are you most excited to look at? Because I know you had Heroes, Labyrinth. I can't remember all the top of them.
I'm gravitating towards. I don't think I can say the name yet because I don't think we've trademarked it.
Okay. Kingdom Death something.
Yeah. Let's say Kingdom Death codename. I'm gravitating towards that.
Are you going to make codenames Kingdom Death, or are you partnering with CGE and codename monsters?
It is a fun game.
It is a fun game. You can just do shadows of all the monsters and
it's
stuff.
Like, just try to guess what I'm thinking, please. I'm trying to think. Like in that list that I made public.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what was on there that if I talked about it or not in a way that I can repeat. So before I launched this Kickstarter, I was kind of like thinking of it as a barometer to decide whether we should finally make that fabled Katie light. Like people talk about, can you make a light version of this? Like, maybe make it so the miniatures you don't have to put together, less cards on this. I was seriously considering because so many fans keep asking me about it. I'm like, I should probably take this seriously.
Yeah.
However, the reprint campaign that then turned into what happened has shattered that. I am not making a game with pre-assembled PVC minis. It's not going to happen.
Okay.
That is not what I think we're about at all.
Yeah.
Which means that project that was going to be kind of Katie Light has evolved quite a bit.
Okay.
So it'll be something. It'll be definitely related to Kingdom Death and hopefully a surprise.
Sounds very cool. And I know, I'm sure the rest of the crew would be happy to work on something a little different eventually.
I mean, we're having a blast on all the new monsters. Right now, there's been a very big sort of development exploration into, I'd say, the one underdeveloped area of the showdown, which is like where you're fighting. Yeah. So it's been interesting to sort of like start to play with that finally.
So I know people are the big thing that everyone wanted was more hunt events and more settlement events because but the showdown's always been a very fun, the best part of the game.
Yeah.
Like it's the most tactic and everything in there. So we have that.
I'm working on with. Sorry, my brain just started out for a second. So internally we're developing. We're sort of because I know everyone was like hounding for that settlement event pack. I'm like, even though I made fun of it at the time, like it's back here. Yeah. And we've sort of been kicking around some ideas that might go into advanced KDM, where the settlement events are kind of more. Like imagine instead of having a big deck of 20, it's divided into 3 ages.
Okay.
So
as the
instead of it being
progress.
like 100% random, and then like sprinkled into it are some settlement events that then after they fire, you get rid of, you archive and bring sort of like the second part of it into it.
Okay. So kind of work a little bit like the innovation deck and start building it.
In my critical opinion, it has to be light because otherwise you end up modifying a deck more times than you draw from it, which is not a good look. The original version of the game, settlement event cards were small.
Yeah.
And those are with prototypes, right? Yeah. And every innovation added more cards to this deck.
Yeah.
So they're all themed around your innovations. So like you got a lantern oven, now you can explode. Great. But then it turned out that since you were only drawing from it once a year, you were literally putting more cards into it and modifying a deck more than you draw. Which is like, this is not really very good game design, I think.
Yeah. All right. I know the other thing we talked about a little bit earlier before is all the new little campaigns we have. So we already talked about the
Abyssal Woods. We got Campaigns of Death.
Campaign of Death. We have the Black Knight campaign. We have the Red Witches campaign.
Yep.
We're going to be seeing a lot more of that.
So once we get like heavy into development, I'm super excited to try to tell like shorter stories.
Yeah.
So you get to see a lot more content faster.
Yeah.
Instead of the 25 now 30-year Lantern main quest that we see. And I don't know. Like once we get through the dev cycle and all this stuff, plus the Campaigns of Death book, I'll be able to step back and look at it and be like, will the future of Kingdom Death be more shorter format things, or will we continue to have large stuff?
Yeah.
And one thing that I took for granted, and I apologize to all the fans, is I thought it would be easy for everyone to make up their own campaigns.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, you put, if you don't have the Phoenix, you put this here, you put that there. You make sure you have a Nemesis or two. You're good to go.
Yeah.
But that's because like I'm the creator.
Yeah,
I
you're the
guess,
creator.
So it makes
you
sense.
do it.
I hear all these horror stories about people trying to play with every monster.
We
I'm
did that like on our first season. It was year 16, just the Nemesis train. It's like, woo, every Nemesis coming in to beat you up. Like, have fun.
It's fun, but like again, from that, this game is complicated. Let's keep it clean. There really shouldn't be more than one story event per year.
Yeah.
It just starts to kind of like get a bit much.
Yeah.
So the Campaigns of Deathbook is a really good place that I can start to like make solid rules. It's gonna have solid rules for building your campaign, and then probably after that, kind of like the softer guidelines. It's like, well, more like RPG style, where it's like you really can make this your own. Here's some examples.
Okay.
Like if you have an experienced group, prefer to do this. Like maybe you want to use a Quarry monster as a Nemesis monster. There's some rules for that.
Okay.
It's interesting. It's fun.
That sounds fun.
I am worried that I'm going to pack it with a whole bunch of new art and make it way too more complicated than it needs to be. But I'm trying.
Hey, you like all your art.
I'm trying.
The art is always beautiful. So I gotta.
It's just like once you start, you can't stop. It's like an
Um,
addiction. It's like, I'm like, do I have any new art in my email box today? No.
How many artists do you got on staff now?
Right now, Lockman's been full-time on the project for ages. And then, are we talking digital sculpt? Are we talking sculptors too, or just
right now,
illustrators?
just illustrators.
Right now, Lockman is the only main illustrator we have. But as soon as we start commissioning stuff for the expansions, I'll pull Zine and Yasmin and Derek.
Yeah.
All those people back in.
Awesome.
I really like the mix of stuff we had for.
No, it's beautiful. All the art is beautiful in the game. There's not like a bad piece anywhere.
I might try to overextend and try some new people. Ayn Lee, she did a few things in the Dragon King expansion, the one where like the guy's looking up and you see the reflection inside. That one turned out really cool.
Okay.
I'll probably commission her for a few things too.
Very cool. And I know you have a couple sculptors that you use for everything, and they've been working on stuff. A few of them even been streaming.
Yeah. Did you get a chance to meet them? We have Jack Alexander here, and Thomas David is here.
I need to meet them still.
Yeah.
So I still need to do that. I think they wanted to chat with them, interview.
Oh, that makes sense.
They were asking for that. So,
all right, cool.
So maybe we'll schedule that for tomorrow, Sunday.
Yeah, absolutely.
Any personal favorite sculpts that you have?
Personal favorite sculpts. I am really pleased with how a lot of the narrative sculpts turned out.
Yeah.
Like seeing those sort of like basic armor sets reimagined as actual characters now that we're more familiar with the world. It's like extremely satisfying. I still love the Pariah and the Mountain Man, and getting the hand sculpt scanned and being able to blow them up and make busts out of it was so cool.
Yeah, the busts are really, really cool.
And,
especially the giant one over there.
The Dragon Goblin, which just came in today.
Yes, I still need to take a look at that.
The factory boss was like, listen, I'm so sorry I'm late. Like, I'm putting it into an overnight FedEx right now. You'll have it for Friday. I was like, oh, yes, thank you so much. He delivered hard on that. It looks awesome. I think right now that's probably, of the new stuff, like one of my favorites. Although Thomas's Oblivion Mosquito is also really cool.
They're all very cool.
I guess he sculpted both.
Yeah.
And then the Red Witches, which are under development, like I'm looking forward to really getting those perfect.
Yeah. Well, that sounds like that's going to be a really fun story to kind of go into about them and
it's
and
like
all that.
It's sort of the first thing we've done with Survivors. It's very close to the main canon and the bigger characters. So I just want to be very careful that I tell it well.
Okay.
Are
we going to see? So we have the White Witches.
Red Witches.
Sorry.
I know all the names.
Red Witches, and then we have the Twilight Knights. Any new expansion stuff with that really, or that's just mostly core game?
I don't know. As we go through development and stuff, that's not true at all. Like, if you noticed in the Silver City, the Lost Knight, one of the cat ears, he's holding a Twilight sword.
Oh, is he? Okay.
Yeah. So there's some stuff I get to play with around there.
Okay. And then we also have the Great Game Hunters, which they're very scattered into the story a little bit, but any more with that stuff? I know that was part of the Lantern Festival, right?
A little bit. You're going to get to meet a few of them.
Yeah.
I mean, in the world, they're the only human city. It's the only one. And it's very complicated and very strange there.
Right. And we're not getting anywhere near that city right now?
There,
okay. So what parts of Canadian world do we have so far that we have worked on? We have the Abyssal Woods now. We have the Plain of Faces.
Yep.
We have the Holy Lands.
Yep.
What else am I missing?
The Holy Lands and where the survivors are very close.
Okay.
Right. That's why it makes sense with
Yeah.
the White Line and stuff is there. And then we'll have the inverted mountain.
The inverted mountain. Okay.
It's interesting, right? It's like
yeah,
all
it's building this
like
whole little world.
Like slowly, the light starts to come back. Those little lanterns.
Yeah.
See more of it. It's
Attention
cool.
GenCon exhibitors, we'd like to thank you for celebrating GenCon's 50th anniversary with us.
Thank you, Voice in the Sky.
And those of you who have booking forms in your packets, we'd like to remind you that our exhibitor HQ is open for your rebooking needs until 7 p.m. this evening. And
Please
we
give
will
us your
be
money
open at
now
9 a.m.
for next
tomorrow
year.
morning to assist you with your rebooking needs.
All
You
right,
got
we're
anything
good.
for us, Matt? Any questions?
Yeah.
I think he touched on everything.
Everything?
Spoilers. Give us spoilers.
Spoilers. What's a good spoiler that isn't too spoilery?
Could spoil it. Isn't too spoiler.
Well, you know what I mean, like something
Yeah.
that I could let go.
Could let go of that.
If there wasn't just poop in my brain right now.
This just makes me think Frog Dog now with the exploding fart bubbles and everything. And
No, that one's way too spoilery. The ball the gambler is carrying is a fruit.
is a fruit. Okay. The ball the gambler is carrying is a fruit of people.
That's all you get.
That's
it.
Okay. That sculpt looks amazing, by the way. I didn't realize you were going to get him in that pose with the ball.
Oh hell yeah! Are you
It's like-
kidding? Totally not Kickstarter. Go all out. Let's
Yeah,
do
no,
it.
yeah, that's really, like-
I feel the same way I did about the last Kickstarter. I was like, I just had a bunch of strangers give me $2 million to make a thing. I'm gonna go all out.
Yeah,
now
no,
it's
no,
like
that's what you have to do.
That times 5.
Yeah. That's, what can we do to just bring it up? You got to go to 11.
12.
12?
Apparently.
I think that's all the questions I have for you now.
Yeah, no problem.
I mean, thank you so much,
My
Adam.
absolute pleasure. You guys are the best. Thank you so much for allowing me to torture you during the last Kickstarter campaign. Just so you guys know, if you're fans, they had no idea that I was going to level
No.
challenges through them through the Kickstarter. This
We got
wasn't
challenges last minute. Like,
pre-scripted. I would just literally either tweet it at them or put it in the updates.
yeah, it was. We knew nothing. It was
Nothing.
That we would be live, and he'd tweet, be like, "Hey, by the way, your challenge." We're like,
So thank you for being game. It was like, that campaign was a blast.
"That campaign was a
And,
blast."
like,
And,
you know-
Bird, did you see our little funeral for our campaign? That
No.
So we did
I
a
missed
Vikrun
it.
funeral. So we had Barish on, and there were more lights off on us.
Yeah.
We had Barish on, and we went to Phoenix, and we died. And he's like, "You can try one more time if you do this," and we're like, "Whatever." And then he's like, "Try one more time, but you're a roll at we died in the hunt because
Right.
no one had hunt XP, and
Yeah,
Phoenix just
you
like,
made
"Yeah,
that
boop, you all go."
foolish
And
choice.
that's all we had left in our settlement. We were at the bitter end of our.
That's how it goes.
Yeah, how it goes. So we do it again. He's like, "Everyone roll a die." He's like, "Roll a die, and then I'll have a drink for the die roll." And then like everyone in chat, like 600 people in chat, started rolling dice in chat. And like, "Oh, Barish, you have to do like 600 different drinks now to make up for this," because he said for every die or whatever.
He's
And
got
it just
some.
went.
He's got
But
a while to work on
he's
that.
like, if you fail again, your settlement does no longer existed and just gets burned to the ground. So we went out, we bought a little wooden boat from Michael's, put all the settlement sheets and the character sheets in it. Like we had like 80 characters in there because
Oh
we
my
had
God.
protect the young, and all we did was make babies. They were not very strong babies, but we made a lot
No.
of babies. And we put it in. I have a pool in the backyard. We put it in the pool, put gasoline on it, and lit it on fire.
It's appropriate.
And we all stood with hoods and lanterns at the pool and watched it burn. That was our giveaway to that settlement there.
A little dark. That's okay.
It's the game.
I know.
He said everything burned to the ground, so we burnt everything. Figured Viking funeral was appropriate.
Yeah.
So,
So last thing I have to say, I guess, is thanks to everybody for making it so my last Kickstarter campaign was relatively stress-free. It freed me up to do all the fun stuff that we were able to do.
Yeah.
Instead of like me being bogged down worrying about a million things and stressing the crap out.
Yeah.
So thank you.